4.5. And then we come over to B12. It's just a measurement of that vitamin. Pretty straightforward, 200 to 1100. But you'll notice, well, they don't say it here, but if you can have clinical B12 deficiency states with levels probably up to 350, 400. And then we do another test if we think the person has B12 deficiency, but we measure the level and it's, let's say, 300. We will do another test called MMA, methylmalonic acid. And it will be high if there is a cellular level, a cellular condition of B12 deficiency, even though serum levels may be as high as up into the 300s. And the final one down there is vitamin D. You'll see the reference range being 20 to 100. I think we have already discussed that. Yes?
What's the indication of a high B12 level?
Most of the time it is, oh yes. What is the indication of a high B12 level? People taking supplemental B12. That's the most common cause of that. Occasionally you can see liver disorders because B12 is stored in the liver, and if there is any condition that is injuring the liver, causing a dumpage of B12, you can see it there also. But most of the time, if you get a high B12, people are taking too much. And you know, how much do you need a day of B12? About 6 micrograms, isn't it? Well, some people vary in their estimation, but it's minuscule compared to what we're measuring here. And we're now supplementing people with doses that are really mega doses of B12. You know, you're taking 1,000 micrograms a day. You ever, I mean, that's not uncommon for people to do that. And you know, you don't need but just a few. Now, if you're B12 deficient and you're having trouble absorbing them, then higher doses is reasonable. And then sometimes we can't even give it orally. We have to give it by injection if you can't absorb it. But anyway, let's go to vitamin D quickly to finish. You've heard the lecture on vitamin D, and you'll know that most of the medical people in this country do not agree with the current standard laboratory reference ranges for health. Now, some laboratories are changing their reference range, and I anticipate you're going to see this pretty quickly, where the references are going to be up into Oh, the urinalysis, okay. Or SED rate, is that SED rate? Yeah, okay. So anyway, it is felt by most of the medical experts that you need a minimum D level over 30, 32. Minimum. Ideally, more up into the 40 to 50 range to promote good, healthy states. The sedimentation rate on that next page is, you'll sometimes see it listed on a printout like this as ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation rate. It's a very simple test. You take blood and you put it in a column, a little tube that you stand up, and you watch how fast that column of blood sediments in 1 hour. And you read how many, it's just millimeters, how much it falls in 1 hour. There are certain physiologic changes that occur in the blood with inflammatory disease states. We don't want to have to go into all of that and why it happens or whatever. But the blood, if you can just remember this, the blood will fall faster when there is inflammation in the body, cancer, you know, infectious diseases. And so anytime we see a high sedimentation rate, it doesn't tell us what is wrong, but it tells us something's wrong. And it alerts the clinician to start looking for other problems, okay? Even though we might not expect it. Like, for instance, with, let's say, somebody with lupus, and they come in and you don't know they have lupus. Their joint hurts. And so we'll run a quick SED rate. If that SED rate's 10, they don't have lupus. We're not worried so much about that. If that SED rate comes back and it's 55, something's wrong. And then we have to go ahead and explore that a little further.
So what's the normal range?
Up to about 20.
It's 0 to 20 for women, and I think based on some women, they have 0 to 15.
For men. Okay, 0 to 15. All right, I think we're told our time is out. So we're going to stop here, and then if you have questions afterwards and you want to ask them, I will, but we need to cut at this point. So, I appreciate so much your attention, and we'll end at this time.